are you? I hope that you are all doing perfect. So this is Hafid with you from English for All YouTube channel, and thanks for watching this video. So in this video we are going to continue with the passive voice, progressive tenses or continuous tenses. And I really insist on watching the previous video because it was about the simple tenses like simple present, simple past, simple future, how to change from active into passive. So please watch this video first and then you can continue with us if you really want to understand the passive voice from the very beginning. Alright, so now let's get started. Please stay tuned. So many students have a problem in changing from active into passive. They kept asking me, teacher, how can I change from active into passive? Teacher, I don't understand how or the right way of changing correctly into the passive. So here I suggest that if you want to really know how to change from active into passive, it's very simple. Just focus your attention with the verb to be. In the passive voice, the verb to be can take 5 forms. It can be in the present, it can be in the past, it can be in the base form, infinitive without to, it can be in ing form, being, and it can be in past participle form, being. And each tense requires the right form. So let's have a look at these sentences. Susan is learning English. So this sentence, is it simple? Is it present continuous or past continuous or future continuous? It is present continuous. How do I know? Because we have the verb to be in the present. So this is present continuous or present progressive. Alright, and in the second example, Susan was learning English. What's this? It is the past. Good. So we call it past continuous. In the past continuous form, we have the verb to be in the past. And in the last sentence, we have Susan will be learning English. What is that? Good. It is future continuous. Future continuous. So please, it's very simple, just you need to memorize the forms of the sentences so that you can decide what is the tense. Alright? So here, if I want to change a sentence into the passive, first we have to know the rule of the active form. So here we have Susan, and Susan is the subject. Plus, we have the verb to be in the present, is, and are, and am. So to be has 3 forms in the present. And then we have learning. Learning, it is verb plus ing. We call it present participle. And then we have English, and English is an object. So this is the rule of the active. We have subject, Susan is a subject. And then we have the verb to be is, are, am, according to the subject. If the subject is singular, we say is. If the subject is plural, we say are. And then we have the verb in ing form, and then we have an object. So, what is the passive form of this sentence? This is the object, so we take it and we put it in the beginning of the sentence. And then, what happens if the object is the first word in the sentence? It is a new subject. So it becomes a new subject. And then we have the verb to be. We put the verb to be as it is, or are, or am. Then we need the verb to be. Because passive voice is about a sentence with the verb to be conjugated in the tense of the active sentence. So here we have ing, so we need the verb to be in ing, which is being. Okay? And then after being, we put the main verb, this one, in past participle. And then we continue with by plus subject if it is necessary. Okay? So it's very simple. Passive voice is a sentence that starts with an object of the active, which is a new subject, and then we put the verb to be. And pay attention please here, we have to change according to the new subjects. Okay? So it can be is, it can be are, it can change into is, it depends on the subject, the new subject. And then the verb be in ing form. Why in ing form? Because we have ing, because it is continuous. In continuous tenses, the verb must be in ing. And after the verb in ing, the verb to be in ing, the main verb is put in past participle. So let's change the sentence. Susan is learning English. Can you help me? Can you help me to change the sentence? Okay? Yes, good. So English is, okay? English is, here we have ing, so we put being here, is being, and then learning becomes past participle, which is learned or learned. It has two possibilities. It can be learned with ed or t, okay? Learned. So English is being learned by who? By me? No, it's by the person, by Susan. Now the sentence is clear. So if you look at the two sentences, we have Susan is learning English and we have English is being learned by Susan. So the difference is what? Is that here the performer of the action is Susan. So Susan performs the action or does the action. And here we have English, and English is not the performer of the action, it is the receiver of the action. So we use the passive voice to say what happens to the subject. Okay? Now let's move to the second example. We have Susan was learning English. So what's the difference between the first sentence and the second one? In the first sentence we have is, and is, it is the present continuous. Here we have was, and was is the past continuous. So let's extract the rule. So Susan is the subject, and then we have was. The verb to be in the past has two forms. Either we say was or we say were. And then we have verb plus ing, and then we have an object. So this is the rule of the active sentence. Now if I want to start the sentence with the passive, I put the object in the beginning of the sentence, which becomes a new subject. And then the same rule, it's very simple. We put to be, was in the past, was or were to be in the past. And then we put also the verb being. Why? Because the active voice we have ing. So when we have ing, we put to be in ing form. And then the main verb becomes in past participle, and then by, and then objects, subject, which becomes an object. So let's change the sentence. English, here we have the choice. Either we put was or we put were, but because here we have English and English is singular, so we say was, because it is singular. So English was being learned. The past participle of learn, it is learned or learned by Susan. By Susan. Now, if you really want to understand the passive voice of these two sentences, you should compare. English is being learned, English was being learned. So the word being and being here indicates that the action is long, that the action of learning English takes a long time. Alright? Good. Now let's move to the last example. Here we have future continuous, because we have well, and well is the modal indicator of the future. And then we have be, and then we have learning. So when I have ing and ing and ing, this means that the sentence is in the continuous or progressive. So now let's first extract the rule. So we have Susan. Susan is the subject. And then we have well. We have well. And then we have be. And then we have learning. Verb plus ing. And then we have an object. Okay, is that clear now? Good. So here, if I want to change the sentence to the passive, it's the same way. I put the object here because it is a new subject. Okay, because this is the object. And then we put well. And here, please pay close attention. Here we have the verb be. And in the continuous, we need the verb being. We need the verb in ing form, which is being. But here, it's a little bit strange to say be being. But it's okay in grammar. Even though it is rarely used in speaking, but in grammar, it's correct. So, will be plus being. And then the verb in ing becomes past participle. And then by plus a subject. So here, if I want to change a sentence into the passive, it's very, very simple. English. So I start with the word English. So I say English. I say English. English what? Well, here we have will be. So I put will be as it is. Will be. And then we need the verb to be in ing form because we are continuous. So will be being. Will be being. Will be being what? Past participle of learn. It's learned. So will be learned by Susan. And then it's so clear. Okay? So please let's recap. Passive voice of the continuous tenses is very simple. We only have to add the verb to be in ing form. Why? Because we have verb plus ing here, and we have also verb plus ing, and here also we have verb plus ing. So once I have verb plus ing as a part of the tense, I use to be in ing form. Alright? Good. So for the present continuous, we have the passive sentence is subject plus is, are, am plus being plus past participle. And in the second sentence, we have past continuous. So the passive voice of the past continuous, it is subject plus was or were, the past form of the verb to be, and then being, and then past participle. For the future continuous, we have subject plus well plus be plus being plus past participle. So this is the lesson of progressive tenses in passive voice. I hope that you enjoyed, and please, for the next video, I'm gonna show you how to change the passive voice, also following the same rule, but this time we're going to see the perfect tenses, present perfect and past perfect and future perfect. Okay? So have a look at these sentences and see how they are changed from active into passive using the progressive tenses. Okay, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed. And please don't leave my channel if you haven't subscribed, and leave a comment and click on the like button if you like the video. Thanks for watching.